So you know that feeling you get the moment you step into Disney World? Like real life just fades out? Yeah, that's not an accident. It's because Disney does a bunch of little things that just make perfect sense. After more trips than I can count, I've learned that Walt Disney World is basically a masterclass in human-centered design. Everything from the roads you drive on, to the smells you walk through, to the way lines don't feel like lines. It's intentionally crafted to make your day easier and the magic stronger. And in this video, I'm breaking down the small, brilliant details that keep the parks running smoothly and keep you fully immersed the entire time. We're going through a super watchable list, starting with the feature that practically guarantees you never see a messy park, even with tens of thousands of people walking through it every day. Ready? Let's dive into the small things that make Disney's magic just make sense. Number 1. Trash cans every 30 feet. Ever notice how you never see litter at Walt Disney World? That's because Walt Disney literally counted the steps to see how far he was willing to hold a piece of trash. The average? About 30 steps. So you'll find a trash can roughly every 30 feet, sometimes closer, sometimes just a little bit further. But the genius doesn't stop there. Every cast member, from executives to full-on Goofy and full fur, is trained to pick up trash discreetly. Yes, even in costume. They train to perform a move they call the Disney Scoop that lets them gracefully grab litter while walking without breaking the show or drawing attention. Cleaner pathways, no visual clutter, and no smells to put you out of the story means a happier guest experience. It just makes sense. And while keeping things clean is important, so is staying hydrated in Florida's heat. Number 2. Water bottle refill stations everywhere. If you've ever visited Florida between May through April, you know that the air is made of hot soup and the pavement can fry a churro. Disney knows this. That's why you'll find hydration built into almost every land, every park, and every major walkway. The new bottle refill stations? They've quietly multiplied across Walt Disney World, especially at Epcot and Hollywood Studios. And if you don't see one, any quick service spot will hand you a cup of ice water for free. This does 2 things. First, it keeps people alive. Let's be honest, because Disney days average 20,000 steps and about 6 hours under the sun. Second, hydrated guests equals happier guests equals smoother crowds. People fainting in line does not keep wait times moving. Disney could easily charge for every ounce of water like most stadiums do, but instead, they've made hydration effortless. Number 3. Air conditioning cold zones in queues. Here's one of those things you don't notice until you're actively looking for it. Disney designs its queues to strategically cool you down, right when you need it. Long outdoor queue? They'll start you in the shade. Transition area? Suddenly you're indoors. Midway through, a cold AC hallway blasts you awake again. Final stretch? Fans, vents, breezeways, and little cold bursts built into walls or ceiling beams. Even the pacing of indoor versus outdoor segments is intentional. They study where people slow down, speed up, and cluster, then drop AC in those zones to keep guests comfortable. Because a lined-up crowd that's cool and comfortable is a cooperative crowd. No overheating means no stress. No stress equals no arguments. No arguments means no cast members having to referee a 95-degree meltdown in the Peter Pan queue. And yes, some of those ground-level vents you stand over on Main Street, that cool air you feel is real. Disney absolutely cools high-traffic areas to keep people from overheating. All of it makes waiting feel less like waiting and more like part of the experience. Number 4. Misting fans every few steps. Have we mentioned that Florida is hot and humid? Like sauna hot? Disney scatters misting fans everywhere. Not only in obvious spots like Tomorrowland or the Epcot breezeways, but also tucked into landscaping, rooftops, rockwork, and poles along longer walkways. Ever get hit with a tiny spray of mist while walking through Animal Kingdom, and you don't even know where it came from? That's a misting rig hidden in the theming. They're subtle, refreshing, and constantly running in the background. The goal isn't to drench you, it's to keep your body temperature just low enough that you don't feel like you're melting into the concrete. This is Imagineering understanding human behavior and human biology. Cool people stay longer. Cool people buy more snacks. Cool people don't need medical attention. Everyone wins. Number 5. Baby care centers. If you've never used them, you don't realize how genius these are. Every single park has a baby care center, and they are basically the secret headquarters for families. Each one includes private nursing rooms, changing rooms that aren't cramped, tiny toddler-sized toilets, a kitchenette with microwaves and bottle warmers, a quiet room for little ones who need a break, and a shop selling baby essentials you forgot to pack. These centers give parents a safe, calm place to reset, and they prevent overtired kids from melting down in the middle of Frontierland. But the really clever part is how they're always placed near a major hub or crossroads where parents naturally pass by. It's a thoughtful, functional design that keeps families going strong through those 12-hour park days. Number 6. All characters sign autographs in the same style. This is one of the coolest design choices Disney has ever made, and almost nobody realizes how much work goes into it. Every version of Mickey, whether he's meeting guests in Magic Kingdom or Epcot or on a Disney cruise, signs the exact same Mickey signature. Same swirl on the M, same loops on the Y, same bold, playful handwriting. Why? Because the character is the character. There is no different Mickey, depending on where you go. The consistency keeps the illusion perfectly intact for kids and, honestly, for adults too. And yes, performers actually train on the official autograph style when they're learning the role. It's like calligraphy school, Disney edition. And before we get to the next set of details, let's talk about your next trip to the happiest place on Earth. If you're planning a Disney trip, make sure to grab your tickets from Undercover Tourist. They sell real, authorized Disney World tickets for cheaper than the official site. It just makes sense. Links in the description so you can check prices. Now, let's keep going, because the things Disney gets right just keep stacking up. Number 7. The Disney Bubble Road System. The feeling of Disney magic begins the moment you drive onto Disney property. Ever notice how once you're inside, the outside world kind of disappears? That's intentional. Disney routes its internal roadways away from major highways and commercial clutter. Instead of billboards, gas stations, and strip malls, you're surrounded by trees, lagoons, and resort-style landscaping. Even the street signs switch to that iconic purple and red Disney font family. It creates a psychological buffer, a transition zone where your brain slowly shuts off the real world and warms up to the fantasy you're about to enter. No visual noise, no traffic snarls, no reminders of errands, bills, or work emails. Just a gentle glide deeper into the Disney bubble. Number 8. Cast members everywhere. Imagineering can design a perfect building, a perfect street, a perfect attraction, but it's the cast members who bring the magic to life every minute of every day. Walt Disney World Resort is the largest single-site employer in the United States with about 80,000 cast members, and one of the smartest things Disney does is flood the parks with cast members. They aren't just there to run rides, they're stationed all over the pathways, at bridges, park transitions, choke points, stroller parking, near restrooms, and pretty much every major cross-flow intersection. This isn't random, it's park psychology. They're there to maintain the show and provide excellent guest service. Disney knows people get confused in unfamiliar environments. They know that stress skyrockets when you're lost, overheated, or overwhelmed. So one of the fastest ways to maintain that magic bubble is to make help feel instantly available. You ask a question, you get a smile and an answer in 2 seconds. Lost magic band? Someone pops up to guide you. Need a photo? They'll take it for you with your phone so you don't have to buy PhotoPass, unless you really want to. It's hospitality as atmosphere. Number 9. Rides tell stories even in the queues. Here's one of my favorite Imagineering philosophies. The ride begins the moment the line begins. A Disney queue isn't a waiting area, it's a pre-show. The second you step into the Haunted Mansion queue, you are already in the story. Same with Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Wars, Rise of the Resistance, Flight of Passage, Expedition Everest, and even the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh. You aren't just standing around, you're walking through environments, listening to soundscapes, reading lore, interacting with props, watching animatronics, picking up story breadcrumbs, meeting characters through environmental storytelling. Disney uses its cues to do the heavy lifting of immersion so that by the time you board the attraction, your brain has already accepted the world as real, and making waiting feel fun instead of painful. Number 10, fireworks visible from almost anywhere. Disney fireworks aren't just beautiful, they're engineered to be seen. The launch sites are placed far behind the castles and lagoon structures, so the massive 600 to 800 foot bursts are high enough to be visible across all of the park. This means that even if you're not in the perfect hub center spot, maybe you're stuck near Tomorrowland or over by the Liberty Square Bridge or halfway through a popcorn line, you still get the show. Disney knows that most guests won't camp out for an hour to claim that ideal spot, so they design the show so you don't have to. They design for real human behavior, not ideal human behavior. It's smart, it's guest-friendly, it keeps crowds distributed instead of clogging Main Street in one massive clump, although we still do, am I right? Number 11. Ride exits lead into themed gift shops. Okay, this one is not so subtle, but it is genius. When you exit a ride, you step directly into a themed gift shop. And not just any shop, a shop that sells merchandise perfectly aligned with the emotional high you're riding. Just flew the Millennium Falcon? Boom! Lightsabers, Chewbacca plush, and pilot jackets. Just braved Everest? Boom! Yeti toys, climbing gear, and Himalayan snacks. Just finished Pirates? Boom! Swords, coins, and pirate hats your kids suddenly can't live without. Disney isn't manipulating you, they're anticipating you. Excitement leads to souvenir impulse, leads to checkout. It's frictionless psychology. This design makes Disney money, yes, but it also gives guests a chance to capture the memory right when the emotional energy is highest. Whether you're buying something or not, the option is perfectly placed. Number 12. The parks smell good everywhere. One of the most iconic Disney design choices, Disney controls the smell of their parks. They use little devices Imagineers lovingly nicknamed smellitizers, machines that pump out location-specific scents. On Main Street, you get warm vanilla, cookies, popcorn, and waffle cones. In the resorts, the Polynesian has a tropical scent. The Grand Floridian has that upscale floral citrus blend. Flight of Passage has its own fresh Pandora forest after the rain smell. Why? Because smell triggers the strongest emotional memories. Scent equals nostalgia. Nostalgia equals magic. Magic equals return visits. Disney wants you to remember how the park feels, not just how they look. And they know scent is the fastest shortcut straight to your emotional core. That's not just magical, that is high-level psychological design. And now, let's stop for a second. Because everything we've talked about so far, it's clever, it's immersive, it's thoughtful, but the next item on this list aren't just smart design. They're the kinds of design decisions that literally change how millions of people move, feel, behave, and experience the parks every single day, even when they have no idea it's happening. These next ones aren't just things that make sense, they're the things that make Disney unlike any place on Earth. Let's go. Number 13. Cast members are happy to take a photo with your camera. Here's something you don't appreciate until you go to literally any other theme park on Earth. Disney cast members are happy to take amazing photos with your device. While Disney's PhotoPass photographers are professionals trained to center the shot, capture the background, and sneak in just enough magic without overthinking it, many cast members are willing to provide an extended courtesy of taking a shot for you if you ask politely. It removes the awkwardness of trying to ask a stranger, and it makes the whole experience feel smooth and friendly. Number 14. No bees or bugs around your food. If you've ever eaten outside at a theme park, you know the truth. Food equals insects, especially in Florida. But at Disney, you almost never see mosquitoes or swarms of pests around outdoor dining. That's because Disney takes pest control to Imagineering levels. They use carefully engineered water flow that prevents stagnant water, fish in artificial ponds that eat larvae, strategic landscaping that discourages nesting, nightly treatments that minimize breeding zones, and environmental traps around the property that attract pests away from guest areas. They even design certain bodies of water with constant movement, rippling, circulating, aerating, all that, so mosquitoes can't lay their eggs. Guests stay comfortable, outdoor dining stays pleasant, and the Florida ecosystem stays balanced without heavy chemicals. It's one of the subtlest design tricks in the entire resort, and one of the most brilliant. Number 15, perfectly timed parades and shows. Disney doesn't just drop entertainment on the schedule randomly. The parade and show times are carefully crafted to move crowds, distribute foot traffic, give guests natural breaks, provide windows for ride hopping, and prevent the walkways from freezing up. When Festival of Fantasy rolls through Magic Kingdom at 3 p.m., it's not just a magical moment, it's a pressure valve. A huge percentage of guests stop moving. The paths clear. Rides in other lands suddenly drop 15 to 30 minutes in wait time. And when the show ends, a new flow of movement begins, one Imagineers actually planned for by adjusting cast member positioning, opening or closing certain lanes, and redirecting strollers. It's entertainment, it's operational strategy, it's crowd control magic disguised as a parade. And it makes the entire park feel smoother without anyone realizing it. Number 16, smart pathway design that pulls you forward. Most people don't realize this, but Disney paths are intentionally curved, rarely straight. Why? Straight pathways make people rush. Curved pathways slow people down just enough to absorb the details and prevent bottlenecks. But here's the genius twist. These paths also open up visually as you round corners. You get mini reveals like Cinderella Castle, the Tree of Life, or Spaceship Earth slowly appearing instead of just popping into view all at once. Your brain gets a little dopamine hit with each reveal. Disney design also uses visual magnets they call weenies, such as Cinderella's castle or the Tree of Life, that draw you toward the center hub of the park. And because the layouts gently guide you forward, you instinctively keep moving instead of clustering. Immersion plus flow control equals peak design. Number 17, soundtracks that seamlessly blend together. You don't hear it happening, but you feel it every time you walk through the parks. Disney's background music loops, BGM for short, are mixed so that transitions between lands fade so smoothly your brain barely notices. You're walking out of Frontierland's rustic banjo blend, and suddenly you're in Adventureland with steel drums and jungle rhythms. But there's no awkward cutoff. It's a crossfade of environments. The music acts as an emotional GPS. It tells you where you are and where you're not without needing a sign. And because each land's loop is mixed at different distances and sound levels, you almost never hear overlapping noise pollution. This is why Disney feels calm even when it's packed. It's not luck, it's strategic audio Imagineering. Number 18. Even the benches and shade structures are story-driven. This is one of my favorite, you only notice it once someone points it out details. Disney doesn't just plop benches wherever. Everything you sit on, every shade structure you rest under, is designed to match the world you're standing in. A wooden bench in Frontierland isn't the same as a bench in Tomorrowland. A shaded alcove in Harambe Village looks nothing like one in Galaxy's Edge. These functional, everyday items are disguised as props, but they're also intentionally placed where your feet and brain need a break. Disney studies where the human body naturally slows down, where the sun hits hardest, where stroller parking tends to accumulate, and where people pulse after exiting rides. Then they place the seating there and theme it so perfectly you don't even register it consciously. It's comfort without breaking immersion, utility without sacrificing storytelling, and it just makes sense. You've now seen 18 different ways Disney designs the world around you. Not just to look magical, but to feel magical. To keep you comfortable, to keep you moving, to keep you immersed, and to keep you saying, wow, it just makes sense. Let's leave you with one last thought. You don't notice these things when they're done right, and that's the point. Disney wants the magic to feel effortless, even though it's the result of decades of psychology, design theory, engineering, and guest behavior research. That's what makes Walt Disney World truly special. If you learned something new today, or if you just love diving deep into the hidden design of the parks, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with your favorite Disney buddy, and subscribe so you don't miss the next adventure here on Castle Compass. And when you're ready to plan your next trip, check out Undercover Tourist. They've got real, authorized Disney tickets for cheaper than the official site. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, your adventure is just beginning.